Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today, Profesora Peña is going to teach you 28 lessons that I bet you probably didn't learn in school. So let me put you guys on. I'm only 28 years old, so take this with a grain of salt. In about a week and a half, I'll have completely different feelings than what I wrote down today because I'm growing and evolving and changing every day. But let's go ahead and start with the first one. But before we do that, I do have to just thank everybody that has subscribed. I have over 100 subscribers now, and I know that doesn't seem like much, but to me, it's a really big deal. I manifested this, some time ago, and just seeing the fruits of my labor produce is really exciting to me. So I wanted to thank you guys. And if you guys comment down below, I'm going to pick 3 people that comment down below to buy a coffee for, just because I'm really grateful. So the first thing I have learned that has taken me a long time to learn, and I'm constantly relearning it every day and every second and every moment, is that I need to get busy living in this moment, not busy in this moment. I literally mean I need to live in the moment, because it sounds cliche or whatever, but when you live in the moment, you're not remembering and holding on to stories of the past, which literally doesn't even exist anymore, because all that exists is this moment. Yes, it made you who you are. Yes, your trials and tribulations are what they are. But when you hold on to those, sometimes it's like holding on to a hot coal and you're just burning yourself with those memories. And it's like, why would you do that to yourself? So releasing all of that, releasing what I want to be in the future, and just getting acquainted with this moment that I'm in and doing what it is I want to do, pursue, and be in this moment is all that I can do. So that's something that I've really been practicing. The second thing I've learned is that your body ages, not your spirit. That's why people say young at heart. It's really important that you remember to be creative, be positive, have that childlike wonder, because your spirit isn't aging, just your body is. As long as I curate and take care of my mental space, it will always be good, which is just so liberating to know that. The third thing I've learned, and this is kind of ties into my minimalism journey, is to cherish people, not things. What I have realized is that when I simplify the number of things I have to give less of my energy to those things, in which case then I can turn around and give that energy and attention and affection to people. The fourth thing I've learned is that what others think about you is really none of your business, guys. And what they think about you is usually a reflection of themselves. And so when somebody else thinks something of you, it really doesn't matter. The only belief that matters, this is going to go into number 5, the only belief that matters is the belief in yourself. And that's on period. If you believe in yourself to get it done, to make it happen, to do the impossible, then you can do it. Your belief in yourself, if that's unwavering, anything is possible. The 6th thing I've learned is that everything implies the other. So what do I mean by this? Yin and yang, black and white. Like one implies the other. So if you want the world to be a safe space with absolutely no killing or no murder or no badness, you're wishing that the world was something it wasn't. You're wishing that the scales weren't balanced. There can't be all of one or all of the other. You're the only one that gets to choose in your soul which one you want to be, which one you want to emanate. Because if you're constantly upset with the fact that the evil exists, then you're constantly going to be in this victim mindset that's really not going to serve you. Number 7 is that making sure you have space and time carved out for yourself and you make yourself a priority really gives you space to be abundant for others. When you're constantly giving to others before you give to yourself, you're going to feel depleted. Your energy is going to be drained. But when you take the time and energy to give to yourself and feel those good vibrations that you want to feel, you're going to be able to spread those a lot more easily. Number 8 is that self-love brightens your energy. So we were just talking about energy in the previous one too, but self-love, taking time for yourself, loving yourself, is going to brighten your energy. And when you're a bright light of energy, people want to be around. Moreover, you're more likely to see positive in the world, meaning you're going to have a more abundant life. What do I mean by this? When you're operating from a place of good feeling, of happiness, you radiate it. And when you radiate that, people that accept that and like that come towards that. Now, as that happens, you're going to start seeing all these people as a reflection of the goodness you have in your heart, meaning the world is going to look brighter. Your life is going to look brighter. And by the 9th thing I've learned, which was one of honestly the hardest, it took a lot of me staring at the mirror and telling myself these affirmations, but the fact that I'm just worthy and I am abundant because I exist. That's literally it. Not because of how much money I make, not because of what I produce, not because of anything else. Just because I exist, I matter. And that's a really important thing to internalize, guys, because if you exist, if you're on this planet, you matter. And I love you. And if you turn around and look for people that emanate brightness, you'll realize that a lot of people love you. You just have to find the right ones. However, on that note, the 10th thing I've learned, which is a really, really big one, is I'm not the savior of humanity. I used to believe that taking care of others and doing the best for others and constantly going out of my way for others and constantly giving to others was the best way to live. And what I quickly realized is that I'm not the savior of humanity. And that's not an attainable goal. It's not a good idea. If you're constantly giving and you're constantly this I need to give energy, then one day you might wake up feeling like you were taken advantage of. So what I've realized is that I'm not the savior of humanity. I'm only going to align my light with people that also see the brightness, the goodness in me, so that I could help support those people. Because if they see the brightness and goodness in themselves, then they're likely to see that in me as well, and we could provide value for value. But if I'm constantly trying to save humanity and they're just clawing at me and taking advantage and dragging me down, it's really not useful. It's actually detrimental to me. The 11th thing I've learned is that I embrace change. I have to, and you have to too. Change is the constant in life. Everything's going to be moving, everything's going to be evolving, and the more ease and peace and grace you can take every change with, the more static and calm your life will feel. Not that there won't be huge disruptions, somebody very important passing or whatever, but the quicker you realize that, one implies the other, life implies death, happiness implies sadness, the easier you're going to come to that equilibrium state where you're not constantly really high or constantly really low. The 12th thing I've learned is from Star Wars, actually. Yoda says, do or do not. There is no try. And this one has become so apparent to me since starting a YouTube channel, because I've heard so many times people saying, I want to start my YouTube channel, or I want to do this and I want to do that. And I used to be that person. I used to say, I want to start one. I had a camera at one point. I sold it. I did this. I did that. But you know what I never did was start. And what I started realizing was there really is no option between one and the other. If you look at your life in the present moment and you say, this is what I want for myself, then you better get busy in this present moment doing it, right? Do or do not. There is no try. You just have to do it. The 13th thing I've learned is that money, careers, jobs, people, they come and they go. So don't get too hung up on having a death grip on any of those. As life changes, so will the people, the jobs, the influx of money in your life, and that's okay. What's not meant for you isn't meant for you, and what is meant for you will find you. So just deeply believe that, and it'll work out. The 14th thing I've learned is that dogs are spiritual teachers. My dogs have taught me how to be more chill, how to be more patient, how to be more loving, how to be more consistent. If you take a moment to look at your pet, whatever animals are around you, even if you just have birds that come outside in your back porch, look at all the animals around you, the nature around you, and realize how they're trying to teach you a lesson. How your dog, simply existing and enjoying themselves and taking pride in the little things, or pride in their small wins and joy in the little things, really brightens their life. And see how you can translate that into your life. Considering dogs don't even use language and we feel this close bond with them, just reminds me that there is more to life than what we hear, see, and all of that. It's a lot deeper than that. Love and kindness and compassion radiates through everything. So if you just take the time to look around and look at nature and see what it has to offer, I guarantee you're gonna learn something really, really beautiful. The 15th thing I've learned is I'm wealthy, I'm healthy, I'm abundant, I'm kind, I'm loving. And the more I feel these things internally, the more they show up externally in my life. Again, not only is your projection of yourself, are you projecting your feelings onto someone else when you're judging them, but also the world in general. If you have this pessimistic view of the entire world, take a second to step back. Take a second to step back and just remember that you are wealthy, you are healthy, you are fabulous, you are fantastic, you are everything already in this moment that you need to be. And a lot of peace comes with that. And when you know that, somehow the rest just attracts to you, guys. I'm telling you, it's part of life. The 16th thing I've learned is, honey, aging is so fun and you should definitely do it. If you're suicidal, I'm sorry. That stuff, is horrible. But what I will say is that aging is super fun, and the more you age, the more you learn how to cope, the more you grow as a human being. Slowly, it just doesn't make any sense, but it starts to make sense that being here is better than the other options. So I truly believe that aging is lots of fun, and I just really hope that you could see the value in that because you deserve to be here. The 17th thing I've learned is that getting out of debt really brings a lot of mental stability. Getting out of debt saves you. Getting out of debt rips you from this debt slave system that we have in America. So if you can do it, if you could figure out how to narrow the margins of your spending, even if you're only putting $10, $20 more to principal than you were normally, like try to cut where you can, because getting yourself out of debt brings a lot of mental clarity, a lot of mental peace, and gives you options, guys. And just really deeply consider that, because I want nothing more for you than to be healthy, wealthy, abundant. The next thing I've learned is mind over matter, or maybe even matter over mind. I'm not sure really how to translate it, but the way my brain works is that it wants to identify everything and put a feeling to everything and judge everything and connect dots where there's no dots to even be made. So when I say mind over matter or matter over mind, it's kind of just letting those feelings and sensations kind of come and go like clouds. Like when you're meditating, you kind of clear your mind. Of course, you're always going to think of things, but what happens is when a thought comes by, instead of labeling it, judging it, making somebody the villain or making you the saint, instead of judging those feelings, just kind of letting them pass and come and go and acknowledge them and release them, it really brings that equilibrium that I'm always looking for. The 19th thing I've learned is reliving past experiences or trauma in your life, unless you're in therapy, unless you're in a session, unless you're really talking it through with somebody, is kind of a waste of your time. It doesn't suit you, it doesn't help you, it doesn't make you feel better, it doesn't help your vibration elevate when you're thinking about these traumatic experiences that literally lower your vibe. If you want to exist and feel happier and feel more free, really letting go of the past and what has happened to you. Not to say that there's not blame to be had, or not to say that those feelings are invalid, but just acknowledging them and letting them sweep over like the cloud I was talking about earlier, and not reliving those traumas constantly, maybe switching those for positive experiences and reliving those more often. That's going to elevate your vibe and keep you in a higher energy more often, making you feel better. The 20th thing I've learned is the all-time most important information that Dr. Maya Angelou ever gave us, which is when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. When people show you who they are, when people act in a certain way, when people behave in patterns, or they show you a pattern that you don't agree with, that's called a red flag, honey. And if you can't identify a red flag the first time, you're gonna get a second one. You're gonna get a million, and slowly but surely, you're just gonna put on these rose-colored glasses that never sees the red flags. So when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Don't try to change them. Don't try to put judgment on them or make them seem this or that, because why do you think you know better? You probably don't. Everybody's here to live their life however it's destined to play out. So let's try not to change people. Let's let people be who they authentically are, but invite yourself out of their life if it's not serving you. The next thing I've learned is that no one knows your truth but you. So when your parents, your grandparents, your family, your friends, your society, your culture, whoever tries to tell you who to be, remember that they don't see what you see. They can't possibly know what your destiny is. Everybody else is busy living theirs. Live out your truth, whatever that is to you, because I honor it and I respect it for you, and I hope that others do too. The 22nd thing I learned is to be well, breathe well. What do I mean by this? Take times throughout your week to breathe really, really deeply. I'm telling you, that's why meditation, the Wim Hof method, yoga is so equalizing, is because the breath is the center of our being. And if you can tap into that at some point, that's going to emanate that energy through your life. So take time throughout your day to breathe well and feel well. Again, even if it's only at a stoplight, even if it's only at a stop sign. The 23rd thing I've learned is that Lynette Atkins, another YouTuber, says this so beautifully. She always says, we're on a spinning rock in the middle of the universe. Like, how have we not realized this yet? Yeah, we are, so nothing matters. However you want to live your life, whatever your reality is, do it, because we're on a spinning rock, literally spinning until we die. So why don't you do whatever it is that you want? There's 8 billion of us. Be whoever it is you're destined to be, and that's good enough. The 24th thing I've learned is monkey see, monkey do. The people you're around, the people you spend the most time with, your parents, your coaches, your teachers, all these different people, your friends, these people are training who you are consciously or subconsciously. You're going to see what they're going to do, and you're going to be inspired by them. They're going to see what you're going to do, and they're going to be inspired by you. So if you're around a bunch of people that have energy that's like this, don't be surprised when you monkey see, monkey do, and your energy starts to lower. That is not the vibration that you deserve to live in. So you need to look around and evaluate who you're spending time with, who your energy rises with, and go towards that, because that will lead you to peace and equilibrium that we're all looking for. The 25th thing that I've learned is, how could somebody know what hasn't been communicated? Now, this is one that, as you know, as myself, it took me a long time to learn, because I really just thought that people were like mind readers, and that if I was annoyed that they could just see it on my face. And that's not the reality of the world, honey. That's really isn't. So if you're expecting people to understand what it is you want, or you should know, or you should catch the vibe, or blah, blah, no. Not everyone can, not everyone does. Some people's mirror neurons like literally don't compute, and they can't read your feelings the same way you can read theirs. So keep in mind that no one knows what you want until you communicate it, and vice versa. You can't assume you know what someone wants unless they have communicated it to you verbally, and tell them that too. Let's make sure to say things clearly, what we want, what we need, what our desires are, because if we don't, there's leaving room for interpretation, which may not benefit us. So make sure that you are taking time to communicate with the people closest to you what your needs are, what your desires are, so that you guys can come together. Now, the 27th thing I've learned is a little bit vain, honestly, but what I've learned is that looking good makes me feel good. When I look good, honey, I act different, I walk different, low-key talk different, and like, why wouldn't I want to be that highest version of myself? So for me, looking good means feeling good. And I used to be so minimalist. I used to just have like really, really basic clothes and not really care what I look like, and just not do my makeup, which honestly, love that version of myself as well. But more recently, I've just realized that when I look good, I feel good, and I love that little bit of heightened vibe. So I just take the time to heighten my own vibe, because why not? The 28th thing I've learned is that looking into someone's soul and honoring their becoming is probably the most attractive thing you could do. Raising people's vibration and appreciating them as they are for who they are in this moment is one of the things that, of course, I struggle with. I struggle with all of these things, honestly, but I'm working towards it every day, and it just brings me a lot of peace to honor people in their becoming for whoever it is they want to be, or whatever they want to create or consume or do or whatever, without judgment and just with love. So I just want to leave you guys with that today. I hope that you honor your becoming in whatever way. Be whoever it is you want to be. Do whatever it is that you want to do. And I love and respect you. Take care. Bye-bye.